Welcome back. Another episode of my Atlanta Hawks franchise here on NBA 2K25, where we're going to finish up the year three regular season, recap it, go over stats, kind of thoughts of how people have played. And yeah, we've already locked up the number 2 seed. We're going to finish things off here against the Lakers, who have been dreadful this year. Have the exact opposite records, actually 26-55 for the Lakers, 55-26 for us. We do get a victory there to close it out. Victor Wimby is your MVP. I believe this is his first time winning that. First time winning it. Rookie of the Year is Dave Rollins. The guy that I probably see, I said I probably would have taken him number one overall there if we had the number one overall pick, the center out of Duke. See what the stats overall. I guess I don't have to do that. Stats. Look at his field goal efficiency. Actually, really solid for a rookie in this game. Average 10, 8.8, 3.7 assists, a steal, and a block. He had a really, really strong rookie season. He should be a very, very good player for the Pelicans moving forward. Cade Cunningham is your sixth man of the year. Kind of crazy. He's not the starter there, but I know they got a loaded backcourt. Cunningham still getting a ton of minutes there. Essentially he had a better season than he did in 25-26. A little bit down on a points per game, but the efficiency just insane. His per 36 he had a really, really great year. Outstanding player. Wemby wins the Defensive Player of the Year. Again, Jarris Walker, most improved. Looks like he had a pretty solid season there for sure, getting more minutes there for the Pacers. Jokic is your clutch player of the year. I believe that was the award. Trae Young won that last year, if I'm not mistaken. Billy Donovan is your coach of the year, and Aaron Phelps is your executive of the year. All NBA first team Wemby, Giannis, Halliburton, Ant, and Ja Morant make this. I'm really nervous that Trae is not going to make it. He's made it the All NBA every year so far in this series, of course, the first 2 years. Second team, Jokic, Shea, LaMelo, Chet makes it. I don't think he has been an All-NBA player up until this season. He has been this is his second year as a second team All-NBA. And Ausar Thompson makes it for the first time. Okay. He's been a player on the All-Defensive team. And we have no Hawks make it as Sengun, Wagner, Embiid, Giddey, and Tatum are your All-NBA third team. Good to see Embiid and Tatum here. They kind of struggled throughout this series trying to stay healthy. All-defensive team, Wemby, Thompson, Chet, Giannis, Bam. Second team is Alexander Sarr. Good to see. Anthony Davis, Embiid, Shea, Amen Thompson. And then all rookie teams, you have Dave Rollins, of course, Trace Gary. The 30th overall pick there goes to the Raptors. What are his stats looking like? Typical rookie on this game. Inefficient. It's just a matter of how many minutes you play. Essentially, Guy Peterson, inefficient. The number one overall pick. Playing for a really good team, though. I'm sure he'll be just fine. Randall Alexander actually helped revitalize Boston, who has not made the playoffs, I don't think, in the first 2 years of this series. Was solid on a per 36 basis. Field goal percentage was actually fine if he shot less threes. Free throw percentage is pretty solid. And then Dwayne Washington, one of the players that I liked a lot there coming out of Iowa. Really good defensive player. Not excellent efficiency there, but they had nobody on the whole rookie second team. You kind of get this in this franchise because the rookies don't play a ton typically, so they don't end up being like you end up not really filling out a bunch of these second teams and stuff. I think that I haven't even started working on the year 4 rookie class. I typically go in and I'll make make sure like hairstyles and stuff all kind of fit. I might just up the draft quality and try to get more ready players. Like these guys just are so inefficient when they come into the league that it ends up hurting. Let's take a look at the standings here. So in the Eastern Conference, you got the Charlotte Hornets number 1 seed. Our Hawks are number 2. Nets are 3. Raptors 4. Cavs 5, Celtics 6, and then the play-in teams are the Knicks, Pacers, which is crazy, Wizards, and Pistons. So a nice run here, and the Heat, sorry. So a nice run here for the Pistons and the Wizards. Really trying to improve. Obviously, they're still not great, 35 and 47 for both of those teams. The Bucks fall out. Magic, Bulls, 76 are just horrible, man. They are so bad. Don't understand it. I don't know. They don't work in this game, in the sim. See how Jack Wright is developing. He had a pretty strong year. Still got to work on his efficiencies, but I really, really like Jack Wright. I tried to trade up to number 3. This was the draft that we ended up. This was the draft that we ended up taking Glenn Perry. I tried to trade up to the 3rd overall pick and take Jack Wright. We were unsuccessful in doing so. They just don't play good in the sim for whatever reason. In the West, the Spurs have the top record in the NBA. The Mavericks have the 2nd best record in the NBA, and the Timberwolves have the 3rd best record in the NBA. And it's Rockets, Thunder, Trailblazers, Warriors. So Steph Curry, the run is not over yet. Nuggets fall under 500 but make the play-in. Pelicans, Grizzlies, Clippers, Kings, Suns, Lakers, and then Jazz down here at the bottom. Just 14 wins. Worst team in basketball by a pretty substantial margin there. 9 wins in total. Oh, let's take a look now at our guys. So leading us in points was Trey. It's the efficiency ran down a little bit last year. He had a really tough couple of stretches, at least in like games we were jumping in, where he was, even before I jumped in and, sometimes took shots I didn't need to or whatever, he was really inefficient. The numbers are definitely, so like year 1, he was outstanding. In year 2, he was very, very good. It's been a 3-year regression here in his field goal percentage, but they're actually up from what he's done in real life. 3-point percentage bounced back up this season. Free throws are great. Obviously, he's taking less shots a game and playing less minutes over these past couple of years. That's been on a decline. Plus minus has actually gone up all 3 years here in the series. Per 36, everything is fine. He's a plenty good player. We just have more guys around him. Like his field goal attempts are almost 400 down from year 1. That's really going to hurt your points. He is down 140 3-pointers, from year 1. Got better players around him. He's not the entire focal point of this offense anymore. He's still the focal point, but he's not like the offense. Still, obviously, a really good player offensively. But the numbers are definitely trending down here a little bit. But still, nonetheless, really good player. Zachary Ricochet continues to take the jump. In my opinion, he's the best player on the team when you add everything all in together. The overall is still a little bit below Trey. But you see he had more field goal efficiency, better 3-point shot. The free throws are definitely down. Averaged over 19, 4.8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 steals, and a block. Adds up to 2 stocks a game. Doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot. Plus minus 4.3 is probably going to end up being the highest on the team. He is continuously taking that leap. He's 22 years old. The former number 1 overall pick to me is easily the best pick out of that class. Even though Alexander Sarr on the defensive end, I think, is certainly making his case. Ricochet he's the guy. I would be shocked if he doesn't develop to the point where he is the best overall player by rating on the team. Heading into year 4, Jalen Johnson is Jalen Johnson. Look at the consistency. He's 18.6 points per game the last 2 seasons after 18.4 in year 1. Between 7.8 and 8.6 rebounds, 2.9 to 3.4 assists per game. The steals have been between 0.7 and 0.9. The blocks between 0.6 and 0.8. Turns the ball over at the same rate. The efficiency is maybe slightly down from the field. 3-point percentage, though, takes a nice jump. What actually hurt him this year and probably kept him from having a better season was a pretty significant drop in free throw percentage. We'll track that year over year. This is a guy that pretty much is what he is, and he's a very good player, a good 4. I would say probably an 8th to 10th best power forward in the NBA, that kind of realm. He's been a very good player for us and has continuously improved in his consistency. And I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing that you get from him is you know what you're getting. Year over year in the games that JJ plays, this is what you get. A guy that's 18-8 with good efficiency that can help you out from behind the arc. DeAndre Hunter definitely he just played less minute or took less shots, really, is all it is. This is pretty much on a per 36. It's the same player it was last year, which is a really good sixth man for a team that, to me, has championships aspirations. He's not like a superstar sixth man. He's not a Manu Ginobili or now a Cade Cunningham in this series, but a 10-3 guy that can get some assists. Dropped a little bit in his field goal percentage, but really upped that three-point shot while being an exceptional free throw shooter and a great defender. Love Hunter. Glad that we have him for the long run here. Glenn Perry took a nice jump, as most of these rookies on this game do. Has a very inefficient first year. Starts to take that leap into year 2. He's a 20-year-old now. 10 points, just under 4 rebounds. The efficiency definitely took a nice jump. Actually, according to this, had more points than Onyeka Okongwu. Perry definitely can be a better rebounder, be a little bit of a better defender, but gives you versatility at the 4. Got a nice jump shot. Doesn't kill you from the three-point line, and is good at its free throws. Positive player, definitely developing. Kobe Buffkin, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much the player that he has been. A nice spark plug coming off the bench. The field goal percentage is within 1/100th of each other. Not a good three-point shooter. Really excelled at the free throw line, so hopefully that three-point shot jumps back up. I'm not really expecting it to be back to 42, but if he can get to that 33, 34 mark, you got a really good player here. Had to figure out his contract situation. Again, I'm not the guy that's the most familiar with how contracts and stuff work in this game. So we'll see how that plays out. It's not showing me a team or player option, so we'll have to see on that. Dude certainly plan on bringing him back. Then we finally get to Okongwu here. Okongwu is not a guy that's going to take a lot of shots for you, right? But 8.7 points, 7.7 rebounds, so he's down from last year, even on a per 36 basis. Field goal percentage was definitely down. Three-pointers were down. Free throws percentage was up, though. He's a solid player, gives you pretty good defense. He's a good rebounder, maybe not exceptional, maybe not quite as strong as you would want him to be, but Okongwu is really good in the pick and roll. He's efficient around the basket. He makes plays. He had a couple of monster games this season. We actually played the game, I think it was to start the season, opening episode, the 27-point career high game for him. Has his moments. He's just not the star of a team that's got a lot of really good players on it, but I like 0017. Austin Reeves, we signed him. Got off to a slow start, but what I really wanted was a guy off the bench that could play the 2, plays pretty good defense, and at least attribute-wise is a pretty good defender. 8 and 3 and 3.5 roughly there, with 47% from the field, so that was good. Three-point percentage jumped back up from where it was to start the year. He hits free throws. Austin Reeves, great bench player for us. Dyson Daniel works the 2, does not get to shoot the ball a whole lot. After his year 1, he was kind of the spark plug off the bench, but the efficiency jumped back up this year all around. Still not a great free throw shooter, but you get great defense. Over 2 stocks a game, almost 6 assists, 8.5 roughly points per game, while giving you something in the rebound game. Daniels is a guy that's not going to fill up the stat sheets the way he should on this game compared to real life with his defense, but an outstanding defender that can hit the 3 ball. It's always nice. Lonnie Jones played more minutes and certainly lived up to it on a per 36 basis. A guy that 18 and 14 with 55, almost 56% from the field is a really strong player. Guy, inefficient, probably does not need to be playing significant minutes in the NBA at this point. Krejci didn't really play, and then Freeman Liberty, he only got in on like a couple of minutes there. But I think he's a guy that could develop and be just fine for us. So, yeah, Really like where the squad is at. I think we got a budding superstar here in Zachary Richiche. He's 22. I think by the time he's 24, he has at least gotten his first All-Star game. So maybe not, the number one overall pick that shoots straight to the moon and stuff, but a guy that's already gotten some accolades. Obviously was Rookie of the Year. He's developing, first team All-Rookie there as well during that season. So we like Richiche. As we take a look now, at the league leaders. Points per game. Luka jumped way up there at the end of the season. Okay, maybe he just had to get to that threshold of games played to jump back up. But Ant ends up leading in scoring here. Luka behind him. Giannis, Morant, and Shea are your top five with Wagner and Maxey. Wemby, Cunningham, Ball, all kind of really right there. Rebounds per game. Several guys here in double digits. Chet and Wemby there at the top. Embiid, Adebayo, Mark Williams, Giannis, Amin Thompson, Josh Hart, Anthony Davis, and Mobley, and I guess technically Jalen Duren are your guys that had the double digits. Assists, Halliburton leads the way again. Luka does end up jumping Trey as he becomes eligible for all these stats. But Trey's still third in that, and then Ja and Harden round up your top five. Steals a game, Thompson, 2.2, Suggs 2.1, Shea 2, Dyson Daniels just down here at 8. I mean, again, really, really good defender. Really does a lot for you. I mean, look at Oscar Thompson. Arguably should have won Depoy, 4.2. Stocks a game. Chet was really good though, and this is now blocks. Chet, Wemby, Kessler, Sarr, Oscar Thompson. Thompson's a player. Thompson is a player. Just maybe not quite enough offensively for you to feel really good about giving him like a MVP votes, but that is a really, really strong stat line for a 24-year-old in particular. From the field, it's going to be mostly the centers and guys that play around the basket. Let's see, who shot the highest three-point percentage? It was actually Jamal Murray with McCain, Cunningham, Durant, and Beal. Rounding out that top five, who made the most three-pointers per game? Luka, Dillingham, Bell, Edwards, and Maskey. Richiche actually there at sixth, or I guess technically tied for third. So that's good to see right there with Seth Curry. Steph, I don't know why I keep saying Seth Curry today. Trey's down at 19th. Jalen's actually in the top 20 there as well. Nice. Cool to see. Free throw percentage. Anthony Simons 98.3 from the free throw line, easily taking that mark, and did it on 5.5 attempts a game. So Simons had a really solid season there. Plus minus, Luka easily leads the way in plus minus 12.3. Wemby 10.9. Actually, just out of curiosity, who led our team in that? There's some big numbers there at the very top. Let's see, plus minus. Technically, Okongwu and Buffkin, 5.3 and 5.3. Jalen, 4.8. Daniels, 4.7. Then Hunter is 4.4. Richiche, 4.3. And then Trey is 3.9. Okay. So, solid numbers overall there. Power rankings as we get done with the regular season. We like to look at 2Ks here. I think that's what they utilize. Them and NBA are typically pretty close. So they use 2Ks when it comes to like the little number that you see at the top on the calendar screen. Spurs, Mavs, T-Wolves, Hawks, Hornets. They actually have us above the Hornets despite the Hornets winning the East. We see we played really well at the end of the month. Really helped us push into that number 2 seed, 13-1, 6-1 in the last 2 weeks, 3-0 in the final week. Played really, really well down the stretch after kind of having a lull a little bit before the All-Star break. Really were really good after the All-Star break. We were outstanding during that stretch, and of course this 13-1 stretch is a major part of that. Rockets, Celtics, Thunder, Nets, Raptors are your top 10. And as we take a look, obviously we don't know exactly who we're going to be playing yet. So let's start figuring that out. Let's get through the play-in. Okay, so now we have playoffs are set in the West. You had Steph and the Warriors get over the Nuggets. The Pelicans win, and then the Pelicans end up beating the Nuggets. The Nuggets there. So it'll be San Antonio versus New Orleans, Houston versus OKC. That should be a very fun series. Minnesota over Portland, Dallas against Golden State. If I'm not mistaken, Dallas and Golden State played in the Western Conference Finals last year. Played each other a little bit earlier this time. In the East, you had the Knicks over the Pacers and the Wizards over Detroit, and then the Pacers beat the Wizards. So in the Eastern Conference, it is going to be Charlotte hosting Indy. I don't want to play the Pacers again after last year getting swept by them, even though I think that we have a better shot of beating them this time around. Toronto versus Cleveland. Obviously, we have playoff history with them in this series. Brooklyn versus Boston, and we get the Knicks yet again. This will be the third year that we are playing them in the playoffs. And the Knicks have a different roster than they did. They acquired Jalen Suggs over the offseason, if I'm not mistaken. I think they signed him to a pretty big deal. Obviously, a very good point guard. Still got DiVincenzo, can hit us with a three. Dadier is right now operating as their three. Josh Hart, after the trade of Julius Randle, is operating as their four. Wendell Carter there at center. So as I'm quickly looking over this roster, you see a name that is kind of standing out as not being there as Jalen Brunson. Why is he not playing? Got a sprained right foot. So I guess they're just not playing him right now. I don't think they have any shot at beating us without Brunson. We swept them last year with Brunson and Julius Randle. Just kind of eyeballing it. I mean, anytime you got a guy like Suggs, so even if he then moves to the bench or they kind of swap things around and run, the three-guard set a lot of the time, I think they're good enough with Carter and Hart to give us a run. But if Brunson's going to be out this entire playoff stretch, they have very, very little shot at beating us, I think. And, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything to look at as far as I'm aware of. I really like the way we built this team, and it's largely just been about developing our own guys. Haven't traded literally at all, signed Austin Reeves, drafted Glenn Perry, drafted Lonnie Jones. Those are the three guys that we brought in that weren't already here that are becoming players for us. Thibault has not played at all. I mean, we drafted Freeman Liberty this past draft. He hasn't really gotten any opportunity to play, though, at all. I just happy. I haven't had to do a whole lot. I mean, it's been a team that's won the whole time in the sim. Haven't had to do a lot with it. And I guess just to kind of extend this episode a little bit, we will take a look at some of the mock drafts here. We'll look at 2K just to kind of briefly give a rundown. I haven't done as good a job this season as I'm trying to move along during the regular season with the success that we've had. So right now, 2K is sending Tyler Alexander, the Florida State center, 7-foot guy, who's a really good. He'll come in as a 78 overall. Good on the interior with his scoring, but a great defender, great rebounder, good athleticism, has good potential. 19-year-old guy, freshman coming out, very, very good player. I think he would fit for pretty much any team. Eric Washington. More of a perimeter defender, but I think he's got upside in his shooting ability. He's got a good athleticism as well, solid potential. I think taking him at 2 is maybe a slight tick early, only because I think, to me, Dale York, I think, is the best player in this class. Elite scorer, good defender, not great athleticism, but 6'7", 236. I mean, he has not had a problem doing what he has needed to do. Sophomore coming out of Boston College, has good potential, already a really solid base with his overall. I mean, it's a little bit of the athleticism thing is pretty much it. But as you look at his scouting report, I mean, Alex English, they got him as an All-NBA with a floor. It's a Rudy Gay as a starter. That's a really, really good player. I personally think Dale York is the best player in this class. I could certainly see, who do they have? Draft rank. They have 2 guys, number 2. Ted Robinson Good player here out of Washington. Another 7-foot center here as a freshman. Good inside scorer. Solid rebounder, but not as refined defensively. Needs a little bit more development. Ulf Anderson being this high, I'm not crazy about. Has some potential, though, as a stretch 4. Solid defender. Good potential. Will Wesley, a center out of Indiana State. Guy that took some time to develop here, right? Coming out as a junior. Good post defense. It doesn't kill you offensively, but obviously he's going to have to work on that. Still sky-high potential as a late bloomer. Alan Simmons out of Loyola Marymount. Can score. Good playmaking. Good athleticism. Really, really sky-high potential to be, I think, a guy that gives you just enough on the outside defensively, a point guard, but can really score. If he can develop that outside shot, that could be a really, really good player. Got Douglas Anthony here out of UNLV. Kind of considered a top 5 guy. Can score around the basket with good athleticism. And he's at least like kind of an average player all the way across the board, but does have good potential. We're going to need some development, though. AC Ellis, point guard, another junior. Guy that gives you plus athleticism, good potential, but has like no go-to when it comes to his skill set. Lenny Knight, another 7-foot center. A lot of these guys in this class, he is the best scorer of the group, just around the basket. Good athleticism, but he's not as good in the post defense and in his defending. Still has good potential, though. Sagana Lawal out of Nigeria, small forward, 6'7", can really score from the mid-range in. Not really a whole lot that gets you super excited right now. Good athleticism, though, with some ability to grow. Drew Gibson out of Illinois, good mid-range shooter. Kind of average everywhere else, including his athleticism. Decent potential. Just kind of who are they pointing at us? This is one of the years we don't have a first rounder, so that may be why I also am not super, in depth, which is I need to still be in depth with this stuff. So if we're sorting things by 2K's rating, Eric Washington out of Duke is currently their number 1 player. Again, I think you're getting an immediate elite defender on the perimeter with some playmaking as a shooting guard. But where is his offense going to come from when he comes into the league? He's a freak athlete with some potential, but I think this is Dale York's class. I think that potential is too low. That is showing right there. I think Tyler Alexander would be somebody that I would take above him because he's got, like, for Washington, you're looking at a defender. Where does his offense grow? Like, where, he's going to be a really good defender for sure. I think even I think it's Dale York. I think he's the best all-around prospect in this class coming into the league. He has no real weakness other than maybe not being the best athlete, but at playing basketball, he is the best player in this class, in my opinion. Even Tyler Alexander, as I'm looking at this scoring, he can score decently around the basket, and he's going to be a good defender there at center. But I don't know what his stretch capability is. I think you're looking at more of like a SAR kind of player that can maybe give you 14 or 15, maybe 9 to 10 rebounds, and really good defense. Which there's that's nothing wrong with that. But I think Dale is the guy in this class, and I think he's being highly underrated right now. But it's a solid class. A lot of guys with the kind of that C overall, B potential. It might take them, some of these guys are a little bit older, so it might take them a little bit longer to kind of find their footing here in the NBA. But I think this is the best top to bottom class. Any first round pick, to me, you should feel pretty solid about the player that you get, as long as it's a top 25 pick for sure. You're going to get somebody that should be able to help you in year 1 or year 2. And I think the front end, I think you got a chance to get a couple of franchise players here at the top. So that's just kind of a brief overlook at that. Next time I see you in this, we will be starting another series against the Knicks in the playoffs. So if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe. Check out my Seattle Mariners franchise on MLB The Show 25. And check out my Tulane Green Wave Dynasty on College Football 25. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time. Peace.